Good morning everyone, or afternoon or evening or whatever time it is there, and Merry Christmas, or Merry Almost Christmas. Today we're doing a snow scene where there's a couple of trees with some snow on it and a moon, and the moon's going to have Santa's sleigh going past, and we're going to have a couple of elf houses and some candy cane street signs. This is just something that just popped into my head, so I thought I may as well give it a go. You probably can't see, but right here I've drawn a line just for myself so that I can tell this is going to be sky area and this is going to be snow. Now when you separate your areas, you really want to avoid the halfway line. It just makes the painting look weird. Now, I don't know why it is, but it is. I have Prussian blue, that one there, ultramarine blue and titanium white. I'm going to start with Prussian blue right at the top. I'm going to splat it everywhere. Just doing a sky up here. Obviously that's where the sky goes, and you want to work, sorry for my head, you want to work relatively quick or use glazing liquid, gloss glazing liquid, because you want to be able to blend it in while it's still wet. It is really hard for me to reach that side of the canvas. Maybe for Christmas I might get something that will help me do videos a little easier. Maybe. And now I'm just going to add some white to this. So I'm just going to get it on my brush like I normally do. Add a little bit of Prussian blue to it. And then just whack it on. So it is definitely getting closer to Christmas. I actually have my son's birthday before Christmas, so still trying to work on that. They're kind of at an age now where they don't play with toys, but you still got to get them something. Just don't know what. So I'm just I haven't washed my brush or anything like that. I'm just adding white to the canvas to blend it in. This is a pre-used canvas, as you can tell. I've gessoed over it and then painted over it with white. And when I blend up here, I'm going to add some Prussian blue on my brush, just so it doesn't go so light. Now this bit here I'm not happy with, so I'm going to fix up. I'm going to get some more Prussian blue. I've just run out, as I always do. I just wanted a dark sky because I want it to be kind of night, but not quite. So it's dark, but it's not dark. Now, despite the notion that snow is white, when you're painting it, you really don't want to paint it white because it'll look like that. Bah. So I've got some ultramarine blue. Now this is just a base. I'm going to paint the snow over the top of it, but I just want to get the base colour in so that I don't have to work so hard later. So I've mixed ultramarine blue with titanium white, and this part here is going to be darker and this is going to be lighter, being that it's further away from you, so it's lighter. So I'm just going to get this on here, and I'm going to paint my thumb while I'm at it. And I'll probably drop the paintbrush or something, I don't know. Just having that day where I just keep making mistakes. Now I'm going to start adding more white to lighten it up. Like I said, this isn't the snow, this is just the base for the snow, just so we don't have to work so hard. So I'm just adding more white, but I've got to get the white first because I've run out. And I'm just going to wet my paintbrush because it's getting a little stuck on the canvas. And paint, 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 paint. I was in the car today driving the boys to wherever they had to go, and that Janet Jackson and Luther Vandross song came on. More money, more money. I turned it up, much to my children's dismay. Now you want to try and make the horizon line here pretty straight. I know right now it kind of looks like a beach scene, but fingers crossed we can turn it into a snow scene. Now I need to hold my canvas, I'm going to get paint all over me. Now this one here doesn't matter so much how it looks because we will be going over it a couple of times. Et voila! Okay, now we want to let this dry, and then we'll do another layer of the sky. Don't need to do another one of the snow. So I'll do another one of the sky, and then we'll do what we have to do. I have done the second coat on there. So now we're onto the snow. I'm going to use a fan brush. This is a fairly stiff one. You can get softer ones or stiff ones. Merry Christmas, you got a stiff one. I've got my white, and that's my ultramarine blue. Now down here I'm going to do it a little darker than what I did it and what I'm going to do it up there. So I'm just going to dab. So I'm just going to do this, which is going to be very hard for me because it's on the wrong angle. Now if you get too white or too dark or whatever, then just grab some more. Now this snow is going to be relatively flat because I just wanted it to be like a little elf village, so they're not going to have any major mountains or what have you. So just going to go along with varying colours, just tapping along. Right up to the end there. And that's all I'm doing. So I'll put you in fast forward. Ready? Click. My fan brush, and I'm just getting a tiniest little bit of Prussian blue, and just in a couple of areas I'm just going to darken it up, like tap 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 tap. Just a couple of darker areas, just to add some interest. Well, I'm going to go back over this with another lighter layer, but these darker parts will still be seen, so they'll look like little, I don't know, divots or creases or something. Little things. Couple back here. Now if you do anything back here, make sure it's on a smaller scale than what you would do down here. And this time I'm just getting titanium white, but my brush is still covered in blue and this paint is still quite wet. So my goal is to make it lighter, but not to hide the blue that's on here. And I'm not covering in the whole area, I'm just doing sections. So not like covering it in, I'm leaving sections open of the blue. Too much there. So you get too much, you just fix it up. Now I'm just getting that Prussian blue again and just dabbing a couple of those areas again, because I got a little frisky with the white. I'm just using the side of the brush, that bit there, just dabbing. Now for the final bit on the snow. I've still got the fan brush and my brush is still relatively blue, and I'm going to use it like that now, so I'm going to go tap down on my finger like that, and I'm just going to do just a very quick coat of doing that. Now, I don't want to go too much over the darker colours or the blue down here. I want to keep this part here definitely darker, but I just want to make it a little bit more snowy like. Especially up here, just try and do a quick layer of just white. I'll get your best, your cleanest white you can get, and try and go straight. And I'm not smooshing it down, I'm just tapping it. Just tap like we were before, but just on the top of the brush. Now you can do different, you know, you can go in curves, whatever that is, to make it look curvy, or you can just go straight, or whatever you want. You're better off to do a variety because, well, as we all know, nature is not just bland and boring, is it? So the next thing we're going to do will be the trees in the background, and then we'll flick some snow. If there's anything you don't like, just change the colour. Okay, time for the trees. I have sap green and I have black, and I'm just going to do mainly sap green with a little bit of black. Just remember, the black is just going to take over, so you want it dark but you don't want it black. And I have my fan brush, and this is going to be a little difficult for me to do on this angle, but I'll give it a go. Now I want a tree here. I'm going the wrong way. Do that every time. Let's start from the top. I do that every time. I gotta start from the top, otherwise I just get lost. Then I'm going to come through with mainly black and just fill in the tree. Then some more green. Now I've never been able to get a really straight point using this brush, so I'll forget that for right now. So I'm going to do another one that's here and start from the top this time. And get on my brush, it's just I have to plan which way it's going first before I can do the full on tapping. And I'll just have a brain fart day. Get some black and just tap in the middle. Now I'm going to do the top with a different brush, and I'm going to do the pole thingy with a different brush. So it needs to be just a little darker. I can't do this on this angle. Just getting some black there. I need to stand up. I can't do this sitting down. Hopefully I don't get anywhere. But if I do, I'm sure you probably do a better tree than me right now. So 1, 2, 3. Might do one about here. I'm just going to go up here. So we're just going to cover that tree we just did, which see, that's how I do it. What's going on? And I'm going to do one more little one right here. Really, they're not that difficult. Now I have my dagger striper and the exact same mixture of sap green and black. I'm just going to draw the trunk of the tree and the tip. Just the tip. Now using titanium white and your fan brush again, you want to just put some snow on here. Don't do it like everywhere. Just kind of go on an angle. Anything you don't like, just fix up. Now, because I messed up and wasn't thinking and put that tree in front of that tree, we're just going to forget that tree. So it's part of that tree now. Oops. Oh, this is really sucky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another tree because I want an odd number, sorry. So I've got fan brush, sap green and black. And I'm going to stand up and do it. And I might do it here. We may cover these trees with a house, we may not. But yeah, I don't want it over that side. And for some quick snow. Now we're in the noisy garage. I do apologise, but I'm doing splatters and I don't want to do splatters inside. So I have high flow titanium white, and I also have this doodad. These are flicker, splatter thingy. Now, what I'm going to do, it's really bad angle for me. I'm going to tap it in, and I'm just going to tap it in, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to tap some off, and then I'm going to shake it. using white with a tinge of ultramarine or Prussian. I'm going to go ultramarine. So a very pale blue. I'm going to do the moon. So I've done a quick sketch in of an elf house. This one is going to be Mr. Sensible's house. Now the reason I sketched it in is because it's really hard for me to reach over this side of the canvas, and I would never have been able to get the house done straight if I didn't draw it in. So this is burnt sienna, and just getting a layer in. Now he's Mr. Sensible. He's the elf that wants to go places. He wants to run Santa's workshop one day, and so his house is nice and neat. Oops. Nothing fancy about his house. I'm just adding some white. I'm just adding some white to that burnt sienna to make the roof. So just in case you can't see how I've done this house, because I intend to have this side here be seen. So this part here is going to be the side of the house. This part here is the front, and it's on an angle. So I've drawn the line like on an angle there, and then straight across, and then up here will be the segment of the section where the roof where the front turns to the side. And I've done very similar with the roof. I've gone down on an angle and then come across like that. I've just done another coat on both of these, and I've just drawn the line on the roof, which is, this is the front here, and this is going to be the side. So I've just drawn that so you can see it. Now just to do some details on that on his house, I've just got some burnt umber here. This is just to draw the side of the house, so it's going to be darker. So I'm just gonna get a different brush because I was actually going to do the bricks first, and then I decided to do the shadows. I'm very fickle sometimes. So I've just got some burnt sienna on my brush as well, just to keep it this, you know, burnt sienna colour but darker. So it's burnt sienna and burnt umber. See, I dropped some water there, so it's peeled away some of the paint. Annoying. So now I've got this little brush here, just random brush, and I'm just going to do some brick. Oh, hang on, I haven't drawn in the doors. The doors and the windows. I'm just going to dangerously put this on here. I've got some high flow black and a teeny tiny brush, and I'm just going to draw in the door. Just going to fill these in with white so that I can, yeah, I'm just filling them in with white so that it's easier to paint the glow of the light from it, because painting the yellow or the orange, whichever one I decide to do, over the burnt sienna is going to be problematic. So you just cover it with white and it should be all good. I mixed some burnt umber and burnt sienna together just to darken this side of the roof over here. And then I'm just going to get burnt sienna, clean my brush, and get burnt sienna and just, I'm going to go up and do this side of the roof in shadow. Haha, I saw it. I'm going to get that burnt umber again and just do that line here again. Now before we forget, burnt umber about here, I'm going to do the chimney. Now, burnt umber and this little brush here, and just random like spudges to indicate brushes. Bricks. God, I think I've got bricks in my head today. Somebody's having a party. Now I'm going to do a line under here of burnt umber because this roof is going to cause a shadow. And while I've got it, I'm going to do black, just some black here because it's going to be darker. Where the shadow is on that side. So yeah, just a couple more of the bricks. As much as I try not to make a pattern, I make a pattern. Then you could do a couple of burnt umber and white ones, you know, bam, bam, bam. And yeah, just do a couple of burnt umber ones, just teeny tiny little ones. Nothing special, and I'm going to do a couple of black ones too. And you can have a couple of black too. Got Prussian blue and white, and just going to do a quick shadow for the house. I did the shadows on these trees as well with the Prussian blue and the titanium white. Now I've got some cad yellow light, and I'm just going to do the yellow part, like the light in here. He's got all his lights on because he's afraid of the dark. Now I know this looks bad, but I've got cad yellow light and titanium white, and I'm just going to dab a little bit to make some yellow snow, just because the lights are going to reflect a little bit. On the snow. The fan brush and some titanium white. I'm just going to do some snow. There's going to be some around his chimney too. Oops. Now you put my titanium white fan brush in my Pepsi. Now I'm just going to dab around here and a couple little spots there. A little bit of snow. I have zinc white to make the smoke coming out of the chimney. Just got my small brush and some of that high flow black and just doing a cross in his windows. Is this one have a cross? No, I'll leave that one. Now Mr. Sensible has a red door. Please water it. I have some high flow black again. I'm just gonna draw a candy cane about here. This candy cane is going to be a street sign. Just did another layer of the red here, and I also outlined it with black again. I just did a layer of white on here, and I'll probably do another one. And also over here I've started the other elf's house. He's not going to be as sensible as Mr. Sensible. He's going to be Mr. Voddy, because he likes his vodka. So yeah, his house is a square, but his roof is going to be kind of like a elf's hat. And as you can see here, I've also drawn in another candy cane. Now this one here is going to be bigger because it's closer. Now I'm going to do his Mr. Voddy's house. Now I've done the layer of white on these and another layer of white on this, and now Mr. Voddy is going to have a greenhouse. So I'm just using light green. What is it? Light green permanent Liquitex. He's got a nice bright house. Likes his bright colours. He gets right into Christmas. And I'll probably do another layer on top of that before I do the next step. As you can see, I'll put it in front of a tree. That doesn't bother me, just gives the painting perspective. Okay, now for the stripes on our candy canes. I've just got red. So if you can imagine in your mind that it curls, it goes there and goes around the back and then comes back around and goes up like that. And then same for here, and you curve it up a little bit. Just and curve it up a little bit. So much noise. And Prussian blue and a little bit of white just to give it its shadow. And the same for this one here. I just have some light grey which I made using black and white, and I'm just going over this this bit here. I'm going to leave that bit there because it's going to be in a shadow there, but I'm just going over the black line with the grey. And I'll do the same over here. Now I've just added some red and some black together to make a darker red, and I'm just putting it on these edges here just to make it look like the red is coming from the other side, so it's in the shadows. Just helps with the overall effect of the candy cane. And I'll just quickly do the same over here. And for our sign, that's going to be the street name. Just got black. I'll do the same back here. I've done another coat of his greenhouse, and now I'm going to get some red and start with his roof. A little bit of Prussian blue and white just to make the shadow of the house. Now on my brush I've got a combination of burnt umber, titanium white and a little bit of burnt sienna, and I'm just going to make like a wood texture. I have my small brush and that high flow black. I'm just going to make it look like it's two boards put together. Now with the black I'm going to draw in this guy's door. And his windows. Then I'm going to fill them in with white. And he can have a white door too. Just going to put the slightest shadow with grey here. And now the tiniest bit of that red mixed with black, just for these little cornery bits. These ones under here are going to be darker and yeah, just darker. Words. Now Mr. Voddy over here doesn't care where he puts his stuff. So he is going to have, this is a high flow black. This is going to be a string of lights. he's going to have one go to this one too. Now we can put a name to our street if you want. Now I wrote on that one, when the camera was off because I just couldn't do it, it says Santa Street and Elf Lane. So I'm really original with my names, but yeah. Now our sign, this is titanium white. Our sign is going to have some snow on it too. So with our candy cane. And this one. I'll put some snow on the wires once I've added some lights to it. Some cad yellow light for his windows. Draw the line. Just a hint of the light on the snow. Now using this ink white, just going to do a little bit of smoke coming out of the top of his house because he doesn't have a chimney. So it just comes out the top of his house. I'm just going to go through and do some coloured lights, whatever colour you want. I'm just going to do them circles. So yeah. Now I've done these ones bigger and further apart, and the closer I get to the house, so the further away from us, the closer they are to each other. So the same will happen here, except in the other direction. As you know, they're going to get smaller and smaller because it's further away still. Now just black. just for a couple of like shimmering in the snow, not shimmering, the reflection of the lights. So I don't want it too bright, so I'm just dabbing it. So I just want to dab it and then like tap your finger into it. But if you're doing this, make sure you're not using cadmium or anything that you're not supposed to touch. So this one I'm using is fine. So this is cadmium. So I don't want to touch the cadmium. So they say anyway. Triple water. So yeah, I'm not going to mush this one with my finger. This doesn't need to be perfect, this is just an indication that there's a reflection. Just a quick highlight on the top there. Not going to worry so much about them. I want to dump a little bit of snow on that wire. Not all over it, but just in some places. So this bit here, we'll put a bit here because it's bending down. A little bit there, a little bit here. Now as you can see, I've drawn in the shape of a snowman. It's basically just 3 circles, each getting smaller or bigger depending on which way you go. So I'm just going to fill that in with white. So I have filled him in with white, and I'll show you how to do the next part. I'll actually do it on camera. I just wanted to do that quickly off camera. I have some grey. Now I'm just going to do these edges and this bottom. The bottom is relatively flat because he's sitting on it. And this bit here is going to be in shadow as well. And then I'm going to get the white again. And I'm doing it in a circular, like a C that's on its side, so that the snowman looks like he's round. So I'm going to get the grey again. And I'll do the same for the next one. Just want to make that a little darker. So now I need to get white and blend that in again. same for these corners and this bit here. And got some red, and I'm just going to give him a little hat. Some burnt umber for his arms. Which will be sticks, so they won't be the same size. And shadow. I've decided it's missing a little something right here, so I'm going to have another light. So now I did 3 yellow balls. As you can see, they are bigger and further apart than the other ones because they're closer. And we draw our black line. Couple of reflections. not quite. Thought I was, but I'm not. I'm just going to put some snow on here. And I forgot the reflection on these. I just took her out in the garage and did another splattering of snow. I put some snow on there, as you can see. Now, like I said, you can put Santa and his reindeer silhouette up here. You could do more candy canes, you could do more houses, you could do anything. Merry Christmas, and I hope you enjoy this painting.